and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the pregnancy tag video. I couldn't, even though I tried to, I couldn't find who actually started this tag. So if you do know, please leave their name down in the comments down below so that I can credit them. It is just a video full of 17 different pregnancy related questions, and I thought that it would be a good one to do, a nice easy one that we can all just kind of sit here, and if you don't have time to really watch a video, you can just put your earphones in and listen to me, maybe even while you're driving around or something. So if you guys are new to my channel, I am a mum to 14-month-old Hunter, and I am 25 weeks pregnant when I film this. I'll be a little bit further along by the time you see this video though. If you guys are subscribed, thank you so much for joining my channel, and if you are not, I hope you guys do by the end of this video and check back for more of my content. I upload 4 videos a week, a pregnancy update every Monday, a pregnancy or newborn video on a Thursday, and then Fridays are a weekly vlog and a toddler related video. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. So I just have all the questions on my phone here, and the first one is, how and when did you find out you were pregnant? So I'm going to try and relate this as much to this current pregnancy and not Hunter's. So with this pregnancy, I actually didn't find out until about 5 weeks. It took a little bit longer for me to find out than any of my other pregnancies. I am on pregnancy number 4 now and baby number 2. With my others, I found out smack bang straight on 4 weeks, or the day before 4 weeks, but this time, for whatever reason, my levels took a little bit longer to increase. I found out just using a normal pregnancy test, nothing unusual there. How did you feel? I was pretty excited, but also really nervous with this pregnancy, just because I had had previous high-risk pregnancies. My husband was working away and only home on weekends, and I have a toddler, so I was a little bit nervous about how we were going to organize all of that, because I was living in a different town to my husband, but I was very excited because we were planning on having a second baby. So that was great, because we had spent so many years trying for Hunter, and this baby happened relatively quick compared to him. So that was definitely something very exciting for me. How old was I? I am about to turn 23. How did I tell my partner? I really wanted to do something cute, but I just can never keep a secret from him. So I literally just text him, same as I did with my son, and then I had a cute little thing done up for when he came back a couple of days later from working away. Did you wait 3 months to tell people? Why not? We actually did something completely different. At this point in time, my subscribers, or you guys, my parents and my siblings and about 4 friends are the only ones who actually know about this baby. All our extended family and friends are not finding out until after the birth. And it does ask on here why. We just decided that we wanted to enjoy this ourselves this time. And I also wanted to do this pregnancy as low stress as possible without anyone else's input. I just really wanted to enjoy it and also focus on my son, because he is still really young. He's only 14 months, and I didn't want any of the attention taken away from him while he is still technically a baby in some ways. It is at a point where he is learning and developing so much, and I didn't want people to just be constantly asking me about baby and not really worrying about Hunter, because at this point in time, he is here and the baby is not. So we are actually waiting all the way through till 9 months to tell everyone. We did tell our parents and siblings at 12 weeks. We weren't going to tell them until 20 weeks. However, my bump, it's just like impossible to hide my belly. So when it comes to all our external family, my family lives in Victoria. I did go and visit them when I was about 17 weeks pregnant, which was really difficult to hide. And my husband's family all live a couple of hours drive from us. So I am at the moment avoiding seeing any of them, because I cannot for the life of me hide this belly anymore. Is this your first? No. Like I said, this is my 4th pregnancy. I have had 2 miscarriages. Then I had my son, who's 14 months, and this is my 4th. Do I want more? I would love to have more pregnancies and more babies, but I don't know if I want to have more teenagers or anything that comes from that outside of it. I also don't want to be getting a different car. I love my car. I I also love that with 2 kids, I can equally share my time with them. I have 2 hands, which means I can hold both of them, and I'm not too sure about having more than that in those respects. I think something that was really important to me was to have children really close together. I would like them to grow up close in age. I'd also really love to have the time off and be a stay-at-home mum while I can, and the more children that I have, the more time I have to have off work, which financially isn't necessarily the best decision for us. And I also have a lot of health issues, so having more children can make that worse. So I'm not too sure if medically it will be the smartest option to have more children. I would have loved to have had 4 because I think I love the baby experience. That 0 to 12 months is amazing, and even now Hunter's age is just absolutely amazing watching them learn and grow. I don't want to continue having children and be focused on the younger ones and lose my focus on the older ones, and I also don't want there to be too much of an age gap from Hunter to the youngest child, just because I have a 7-year age gap between myself and my sister, and sometimes it is a little bit too big of a gap for myself and her. We are at that point where, like, she started off as a child and I was a teenager, and then now she's a teenager and I'm an adult, and it just, sometimes we don't always line up with our age groups, and it's a little bit harder, and it would be really nice to just have them all close together. So I'm really not too sure if we will have more children. I would love more. My husband would tell you that he will have 16 happily, and I will tell you that he will need another wife because I'm not having 16 children. Yeah, so I guess that question's a little bit undecided for me. Your biggest craving. I don't really have like the biggest craving for something specific. I probably tend to crave the same kind of things, but it's not just like one specific thing. So like I really all the time really want to have McDonald's, which is really bad. I also really crave burger rings, which are like little round chips. First couple of months I really loved Oreos and green grapes. Green grapes used to satisfy my need for anything that was sweet. And yeah, I don't know, I don't really have necessarily massive cravings. I just tend to be really hungry all the time, so it's not really anything specific. Actually, I like sour worms. Sour worm lollies, I have had so many of them this pregnancy. My pregnancy with Hunter, I couldn't have anything sweet, and this pregnancy, all I want is sour worm lollies every time I see them. What's the best part of being pregnant? So I actually have a video coming out, or it may already be out by the time you see this, and it is 10 things I'm going to miss about this pregnancy. And my absolute favorite thing about being pregnant is not realistically just one thing. I love the baby kicks. I love the bump. I love styling it. I love the fact that it's always my most comfortable and confident part of my life, where I always feel like my body looks the best and I look the healthiest. I also really love just being able to have baby all to myself and constantly have them with me. So I don't know, there's a lot of awesome things. I love the excitement that comes with it, the shopping that comes with it. There's just so many things, but like I said, there's going to be a video on that coming out, or it may already be out. What's the worst part of being pregnant? The worst part, and thankfully I've managed to avoid part of this so far from not having told everyone about the pregnancy, the worst part for me is actually people's input. So anyone's input on things like how I want to raise my children, what I decide to do for birth, if I have a VBAC or if I have a C-section, which is a massive part why we haven't told people about this pregnancy, because I do not want anyone's input on that. I also found that even though some people really cared about Hunter's pregnancy, a lot of people were just trying to get gossip, and it was really exhausting having people contact me all the time, repeating myself for the same things. So I actually think that that can be worse than any of like the pains that you go through or anything like that, just because it increases your stress and just makes it harder to enjoy your pregnancy, I guess. Will you find out the gender, and what do you prefer? No, we are not finding out the gender until birth, and I have no preference. We have a 14-month-old son, and I would be happy either way, because he could have a little brother to run around after, which would be so cute, or he could have a little sister, and I just don't particularly care either way. Do you have names picked out, and what are the stories behind them? We do have names picked out. I'm not going to share them just because we're going to leave that until the babies are born. One thing I will say is that my husband really loves old-fashioned names, and I'm someone who really does not like plain names like Mark, Luke, John, Lucy, Ruby, like things that have just been used about a million times. But I am coming out with a video of baby names I love and may use, and our baby names are actually in that video, so keep an eye out for when that comes out. What is your birth plan? So at this point in time, I have the option of going with a VBAC via induction or a C-section. I had a C-section with my son. I absolutely loved my C-section. Would have another one, no problem, but I would really like to experience a natural birth. I'd also really love it if having a natural birth may avoid my baby ending up to NICU this time, but either way I'm going to be completely happy. So I don't believe in making like a really strict birth plan of like, this is how it's got to be, this is what pain relief I have to have, and it's just whatever's safest for me and baby at the time, really. So I do have my preferences on some things, but I'm really not going to care at the end of the day, as long as my baby is born healthy and safe and I'm well enough to look after both kids. I'm not really going to be too fussed about that. I am definitely not someone who turns down medical help for the sake of being stubborn or sticking to what I think, because at the end of the day I need to be healthy enough for my children, and I don't want to do anything that will risk my baby's life. So if they tell me I need another C-section, I need another C-section. If they tell me that it is safer to go for a natural birth, even though a natural birth scares crap out of me because of the pain that comes with it, I will just have a natural birth. I will do whatever works and is safest for my child. Will you breastfeed? Yes, I just finished breastfeeding my son only a couple of weeks ago. I do plan to breastfeed again with this baby as well, as long as my body allows for it. And I also plan to pump and give my milk to my 14-month-old son as well, who was still breastfeeding until my milk dried up. He is currently just having almond milk bottles of a day, but I hope to switch that over to express milk once this baby is born. Do you plan to work or be a stay-at-home mum? I plan to be a stay-at-home mum, and then when this baby is about a year old and has dropped down to feeds of like maybe just 1 or 2 a day, I plan to just get a casual night job or something, just a couple, maybe like only 2 shifts a week or something, just to help with a bit of extra finance. But I don't have any plans on putting the kids in daycare. Will you make your own baby food? I don't do puree. We did baby-led weaning with Hunter, so yes, in some ways I guess it is making my own baby food, because he literally eats what we eat. And I highly recommend looking into baby-led weaning if you haven't had a child yet, or if your baby is getting close to 6 months old. The current research is showing in favour of baby-led weaning, not of puree, and it was actually so much easier than the people I know who did puree. I didn't have to do transitioning from puree to mash to solids. He just had solids from the very beginning, and he's an amazing eater now. So I definitely will make my own food, yes, because my son is also dairy intolerant, so it is hard to just buy food. But they just eat what we eat, so it's really not any extra work for us, I guess. Do you have nursery ideas and themes? So for my son, we had a theme of, so with my son, his name is Hunter, and we decided to go for a theme of wilderness, wildlands, I don't know really how to explain it, but basically his nickname is Fox. He has got a lot of things like foxes, bears, basically any kind of animal that comes from like Canada and Alaska, which yeah, so it kind of fits like the hunting theme, I guess. And then this baby I wanted to make Bunny, which you guys will obviously know from my title of my channel, Fox and Bunny Mama Vlogs. Rabbits for us is a sign of good fertility, and we were really blessed to fall pregnant so quickly with this baby, so I want them to have a rabbit as their specific animal, I guess, instead of like a teddy bear. So yeah, I guess that's like kind of our theme, but I don't really go too much overboard with decorating. I really just have like the stuffed toys that fit within that theme, and then we just have like wooden items in his room. But when it comes to the toy area is just whatever. As for like a nursery as such, the kids are eventually going to share a room. So at the beginning, baby is going to be in our room and then eventually move into Hunter's room. So that's all the questions for the pregnancy tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Feel free to answer the questions yourself down below. I'll leave the list of them down in the description box. I would love to hear all of your answers to these. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure that you click the notification bell so that you can keep up to date with my updates. I have a new video Mondays, Thursdays, and 2 on a Friday, 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you guys in the next video.